you've been paying attention to the news at all for the past couple of weeks, you've probably heard about the coronavirus outbreak in China. First things first, we here at Wirecutter think that you should not panic. There's only been 12 documented cases of the coronavirus here in the US, and comparatively, somewhere between 10,000 and 25,000 people have died of the much more common flu since October. So the best thing you can do is keep calm, get your flu shot, and wash your hands. Despite the relatively low risk of coronavirus in the US, pharmacies and online retailers like Amazon have been selling out of these surgical masks and N95 respirators like this one. These are called N95, which means that they're government certified to block 95% of small airborne particles. They do so via an activated carbon layer and a polypropylene filter that blocks out particulate as small as 0.3 microns. For comparison, a human strand of hair is about 75 microns in size. We liked this model from 3M last year because of its pretty sturdy straps compared to some of the ones we tested, its M nose bridge which locks tightly onto your face, as well as this thing here which is called an exhalation valve. When you're breathing out, your face can get pretty hot and this sort of keeps you cool. These are surgical masks. You've seen these on doctors, in hospitals, maybe you've seen a nail technician wearing one, or you've seen them on the subway. Basically, they're made out of cheap latex and they secure around your face with elastic bands or just kind of like cheap plastic ties like these ones. But none of these masks are airtight, so that means that there is room for airborne pathogens to sort of sneak in through the side. The best these can offer is a physical barrier between you and any sort of spritz or splash that may come your way. So, what will these protect you against? Viruses. These are a no for surgical masks and a yes for N95 respirators. Viruses are teeny tiny and they travel on water vapor that can pretty easily sneak in through the sides of the mask. Also, if you are going to wear one of these and you prefer to have that barrier anyway, make sure to take the mask off by the straps. A lot of people have a tendency to take the mask off by the front, and let's say you touched a subway pole or you touched someone who is swarming with the flu. Now, there's only this thin latex barrier between your mouth and someone else's illness. But let's say you're sick and you can't stay home and you need to get to the doctor. It should hold in your coughs and your sneezes, but like I said, it doesn't seal tightly to your face. So if someone unlucky is sitting next to you on the subway when you sneeze, they could get a small sprinkling. Once you exhale enough humid air, these can get sort of damp, making them more susceptible to picking up a virus. These are N95s. These will definitely protect you from a virus. These are only ever going to work correctly if they're properly fitted to your face. So if you have a beard, you're out of luck. That said, they're hot, they're uncomfortable, they're difficult to breathe through, so you probably don't want to wear one of these unless you're in the same room as an infected person. Whoop. Pollen. Pollen is also a no for surgical masks, and it is a definite yes for N95 respirators. Pollen can sneak in through the sides of the mask, so the best it can do is provide a barrier for a little while. At 10 microns, pollen is relatively pretty big, so N95 should have no problem filtering them out of your respiratory system. Mold. This is another no for surgical masks. For mold, you'll need an N95. So if you're cleaning up after a home renovation or a flood or something like that, you should absolutely be using one of these to protect your lungs. Smog. Perhaps you're noticing a trend here, but this is also a no for surgical masks. Despite the thousands of people who wear these in smoggy cities, they don't actually protect you from pollution. For N95s, smog is a yes, but. Smog is a mix of things, including soot, which an N95 can definitely protect you against. However, it's also made up of gases like nitrogen oxide and other chemicals called volatile organic compounds. Volatile organic compounds evaporate into the air, and they're too small in size for an N95 respirator to capture. Wildfire smoke. These are a very serious, we're running out of room here, but these are a very serious no for surgical masks. Surgical masks will not protect you in wildfire smoke. And for N95s, wildfire smoke is a yes, but. During California's wildfire season last summer, local government agencies and community centers would hand out N95s like this one to make sure that residents stayed safe. However, wildfire smoke doesn't only let off particulate dust, it also lets off those volatile organic compounds that I mentioned before, and an N95 won't protect you from those. Those are from houses burning down, oil burning off of roads, all those things that sort of get burnt in a wildfire. If you are in a wildfire area, you will definitely need to be wearing one of these, and you should chuck it after 8 hours of use. Paint fumes. These are another no for surgical masks. And for N95s, these are also a no. The molecules in paint fumes are so small that an N95 is not going to pick them up and be able to filter them out. Cigarette smoke and marijuana smoke. Again, for surgical masks, both of these are a no. So the best thing to do is avoid the unsafe situation and remove yourself. And for N95s, these are a yes, but. An N95, like we already know, can pick up any smoke particles, but cigarettes also give off carbon monoxide, which an N95 can't filter. So the best thing to do is just leave the room and don't harsh anyone's vibe. So now that we've terrified you about these volatile organic compounds, we should probably show you which respirator will work to protect you against them. This is our reusable respirator pick with detachable P100 filters. Filters like these attachable P100 ones are certified to block out 99.97% of airborne particulate, including those that are oil-based, like lead paint or pesticides. But unless you're doing your best Bane impression...
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
you probably won't need these. People have a habit of buying these pretty indiscriminately. So if you're thinking about getting a respirator, you should really evaluate which one you need and what you need it for. People are pretty panicked about the coronavirus, but they don't need to be. And they definitely don't need to be buying up all the respirators and surgical masks, especially since a lot of hospital workers really need them. So, like I said, relax, don't panic, and most of all, wash your hands!